In this video, I will be providing you with information on how you can cut a skirt board for a pre-existing stairway that doesn't have consistent treads or risers. Now, even though all I have are the risers that are inconsistent here, the same thing should work if you have both or just the treads that are inconsistent. So let's go ahead and take a look at our risers. Here we have different riser heights. Give you an idea of what we're dealing with. And that will provide us with a gap between the top corner of the steps. And of course, we're going to have at least one high point, and we have that located near the center of the stairway. And I went ahead and matched this board to the bottom angle of the stairway. This is the same angle here. And it might not matter if there are only small variations. However, larger variations, maybe over a ½ inch or 3/4 of an inch, might force you to spend a little more time working out the exact position of the skirt board. And of course, you will need to securely connect this board to either the wall or the stairway. It cannot move. And you might be able to do that with some screws at the lower edge here or below the top of the skirt board after it has been installed, something where you're not going to be ruining the wall above the skirt board. And of course, there are plenty of other ways to securely fasten this board temporarily while you lay it out. Next up, we're going to grab our level and then go ahead and go from the front of each step and create a level mark all the way up the stairway. And I don't think something like this is going to be that difficult to do. And that should look something like this when you're done. Next thing I want you to do is go to the highest spot, or the spot with the largest gap in between the bottom of your skirt board and the top corner of the lowest step. So again, the largest gap in between here. And in our situation here, it's 7 3/4 inches. And then I'm going to add 1/4 of an inch to that measurement just to provide us with a little insurance. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. Now, you don't need to cut a separate board, but I'm going to, and I'm going to make mine 8 inches tall. And you really don't need this board. You could just simply measure from the top of the step up to here and then go to the back and then draw a line, connect the dots kind of a thing. And then I'm going to reposition the board and then mark the top of it again and then reposition it again and mark the top again, and then do the same to the rest of the steps. So I should end up with something like this. And after I've marked everything, it wouldn't be a bad idea to see if we have any spots like this, because this is going to provide us with a little gap that might not be acceptable to some of you. And if this is the case, all you need to do is raise all of the lines a little bit, and that'll be all of the lines for all of the steps. So you can see here where it's a little different than it is down below. And here it looks like we have a bigger gap, and all you're doing is compensating for the variations in the steps to make your skirt board work. So hopefully that makes sense, because after you've laid everything out, you can go ahead and detach your template or your skirt board so that you can cut it. And then after it has been cut, you can go ahead and position it in place. So again, I kind of left this here on purpose to give you an idea of what could happen if you don't increase the measurement a little bit for your template. And you don't have to go 1/4 of an inch. You can always go a ½ inch or 3/4 of an inch just to make sure. And of course, it's all going to depend upon how much room you need here, the distance between the top of the skirt board and the corner of the steps. And hopefully all of that made sense. However, if it did not, feel free to leave any questions you have in the comment area, and I will answer them as soon as possible.